We're trying something a little different this week. It's the pre-match phone-in because there's quite a big game coming up, isn't there? So, with me to get your memories, your Derby Day memories, your first time watching Luton Watford and the most memorable ones, is my co-host, Mark Ryman. How are you getting on, Mark?
Yeah, I'm getting excited now. I think we've all had a bit of soul searching over the international break, but it's starting to build up, isn't it, over the last couple of days?
Yeah, it's the anticipation, isn't it? You know, um,
Yeah.
earlier this week it was panic, absolute panic. But now the reality is setting in that it's almost here.
Yeah, head goes out the window at this point. It's all about heart now, I think, and it's all about making sure we do one over on Watford, and those of us of a few generations actually, have not seen that many Watford Luton games, and some of the younger generations than us might have only seen it over the last few seasons. So yeah, it's a really really big fixture with a lot of history attached to it, and yeah, I can't wait for Saturday. I really can't wait.
Do you know what I can't wait for? We got a very special guest with us tonight. It's a man that needs no introduction. He simply glided across the pitch and he scored one of the most memorable goals that has ever been scored in a Luton versus Watford game. It's the one, the only, the incredible Luton legend that is Matthew Spring. Matty, how you doing,
Hey.
mate? You should be unmuted.
I think that's just the.
Yeah, I think you're on.
Oh,
Springy.
Hey,
Spring,
there
are
we
you?
are.
hi mate,
Hello.
you alright?
Yeah, doing all
I was just in the
right.
middle of eating some cake. I've caught you.
Yeah, well, you know what? You can have your cake and eat it too. Um,
Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
yeah, I've been working on that one. It's an honor to have you on. Like as I told you in the message, you are without a doubt my favorite Luton Town player, and it doesn't even matter that you played for Watford, just because what you brought to the Luton team was incredible from such a young age.
Um, yeah.
So what was it like breaking into the Luton team? Because you were young, you were 17, if memory
Um,
serves.
yeah. No, yeah. Yeah. It all happened really fast, really, for me, especially from because I never done that kind of academy thing or anything. So, um, I was just training with Luton at I think the age of 15, and then from within about a year, well, about a year and a half. 18 months, I had an opportunity to play in the first team, which just seems mad, really. I think at the day I made my debut, we were at kind of bare bones though. The club was kind of at a bit of a turning point, I think, and that's when, luckily for me, I think we had to play some kids, and I think if you look at that team that I made my debut in Bristol City away. I don't think there was many players over the age of 22 in
It
that
was
team.
it was a
So
3-0
yeah,
loss. It was pretty brutal.
uh, was it 3-0? I thought it was 4, but yeah, it was 3-0. I think it was 3-0 at half time as well, wasn't it?
Yeah,
So
and like
if I
there's
remember
this
right, right, someone
great
at half
picture.
time.
There's this great picture of you and Liam George on the bench just looking completely forlorn, and I think the news article said Lenny Lawrence's babes blasted by Bristol City. It was
Yeah,
absolutely brutal.
yeah.
Yeah. And I
Yeah,
think
no, it was.
then
Yeah, yeah, no, yeah. It's one of them. You don't remember. Obviously, I don't remember much of the game, but I obviously come on at half time, and you think to yourself, you've done okay. And then I'll never forget. I got brought down to earth very quickly by John Moore, our youth team manager at the time. The following week, saying I thought I'd done all right, and he kind of was like, "Yeah, but it was easy. They were 3-0 up. Game was over." Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Game was done.
the next game after that is one that we don't really want to talk about too much. The next game was Luton versus Watford, and it was when Watford that was the very next game.
Oh, was that the next game? Because I thought I didn't. Was it? It must have been the week after then. Yeah, the week after then, I must have made my full debut. Then did I start the next game? Was that Plymouth, or was that maybe a week after? Because I was on the bench for that one, wasn't I? The Watford guy, and we were 4-0 down within 35 minutes.
Yeah. Don't remind me.
Yeah.
It was pretty brutal, and you did start the next game. Do you remember the starting lineup against Plymouth? Putting you on the spot here. So it was a 3-0 win against Plymouth.
Yeah.
Do you want me to tell you the starting lineup?
Go on. I don't remember much. I've tried to find the game in that, but I've never. I never got round to. I never found any kind of detail of the game. Like on YouTube or anything like that.
Oh, well, we got all the match reports up on Hatters Heritage, so you can see every single match report. You can even read your own bio, and I can assure you there'll be pictures that you've probably never, ever seen before of yourself as well.
Okay.
So the starting lineup for that game against Plymouth was Kelvin Davis in goal, Graham Alexander, Brian Small, Gary Waddock, Julian James, Alan White, then yourself, Paul McLaren in midfield, David Oldfield, Tony Thorpe, who bagged a brace, and Gary Doherty.
Yeah. Okay.
And then you had Simon Davies and Sean Evers off the bench as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so the derby. And considering you played 357 times for Luton Town, you only played in one of these games for Luton.
Only, so we kind of missed each other, didn't we, for about 7-8 seasons, I think it was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So I kind of missed out on all them.
So let's talk about 2002 then. Baggy shirts, that wonderful goal, and also an assist. Yeah, well, I've watched that goal so many times, and your celebration where the arms go out and the shirt's just hanging off you. I think, how come you didn't take off like a spider monkey?
I know. It was funny. We was watching the kits the other day, how they've all changed and stuff like that. But and it was so heavy as well. It wasn't just big. It was heavy. It was heavy. It was probably I'd say that shirt is probably one of the worst kits Luton have ever had. That one, the actual make and material and all that. But that's just the way it was back in the day, wasn't it? And then I always wanted. I think maybe that day, my long sleeve shirt was bigger than usual. I think because I always like to wear a long sleeve shirt. So I think that was a bigger size than usual on that one. So that was one of them. I wasn't going to wear short sleeves, so that was the one I ended up wearing.
So talk us through that goal. I know, Mark, Mark, you want to jump in here as well, don't you?
Yeah.
You idolise Matty Spring.
Everyone wants to ask this question. I mean, Springy, it's an honour to have you on, mate. And Ollie and I are both similar ages where we started following Luton in the sort of mid-90s. So
you were 15, you mean, when I scored that goal?
Yes, a bit older. But that goal especially. I mean, just talk us through it and how many red cards would it be now as well?
Well, that's what I mean. Now that goal wouldn't have stood nowadays. The first two tackles before the ball actually pops. I think I played around with Howard before I actually get the ball back and go and score. There would have been a foul. It would have been a foul before that. So
what you mean, Paul Hughes going in 2-footed?
Well, and I think he catches me as well.
He did.
He weren't messing about. I think he kicked me on the way through, then kicked the Watford player, then got a little bit of the ball. Then the ball seems to pop out, and then Howie plays it round back to me, and then and then I go and score. But as I say, it wouldn't. There's no way in the world it would have stood. It would have stood in this day and age. But listen, you're allowed to get away with what you get away with back in the day. And like I say, the rest is kind of history.
So you used to hit them regularly, but I think this goal was probably one of the more special ones. I think it must have been about 40 yards out, and there was no backlift, no swaz on that ball. It was like an arrow.
Yeah, straight. Yeah, yeah. It was like, I think if back in that time as well. What's the sport football program on? Was it Sky on Sky? Soccer AM. Soccer AM done it, didn't they? And I think it was 37 yards out. Was it 37? I think it's 37 or 36 point something yards out. And I think it travelled at 67 mile an hour or something like that. I think it was back in the day there. So yeah, but it was just one of those. You just catch it. I just caught it sweet, and it just went dead straight, didn't it? It just went dead straight into the top corner. So yeah.
And how about
Magical.
playing for the other side as well? Because you lined up against Luton in 2004, I believe, and you were getting promoted with them lot.
Yeah, and we got promoted that year as well. Yeah. It's always a little bit strange. Obviously, I still knew a lot of the boys that were playing for Luton, but it's just one of them things. It just happens in football, don't you? Just get on with it, and at the end of the game, it doesn't matter what the score is at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? So nothing really comes out of it. But yeah, I know you, the fans think it's a major thing and all that. But listen, it's always good to win, but. Listen, there's more few friendships in football than that. So, but no, it's always good to get going and play. So it's good to play for both.
Just on that, Springy, because I was actually at that game. I think Carlos Edwards scored for us. We lost 2-1. How did it feel at Kenilworth Road coming on, particularly Kenilworth Road as an ex-Luton player?
Yeah, I was gutted. I was gutted, to be fair, that I weren't starting, because I think that's the only game. That's the only game he left me out for all season. I played 40. I think I played. What do we play? I think I done all in all that season, including the cup games. I think I played 42 games and scored 9 goals. And that was the only game I'd been kind of left out, dropped, whatever you want to call it. But I could see he's kind of. I could see he's thinking of why he kind of left me out with the emotion of the game and stuff like that, blah blah. But at the end of the day, you just want to play football, don't you? You just want to play as many games as you can and start every game. But yeah, it was awful. It was horrible coming on, to be honest. I would have preferred to have started the game. But yeah, it was just one of those things. And I'll be honest, it's just one of them. Once you don't start, you just want to get in and out. Do you know what I mean? Not really bothered about what the result was. Just get in and out and game done. And if you win, you win. And fortunately, we won that 1-2-1. So not much on that game really for me, to be honest with you, purely because I didn't start the game.
Springy, you're all right to answer some questions that are being submitted on the old chat on the YouTube. So I think I know the answer to this one. It's from T-Boys TV. Would you consider being a coach or a manager because you had a slight spell at Hemel?
I never thought playing football I would. But I did have a little spell. Hemel started up an academy, and I happened to be there playing at a time, and I got asked to do that. And I to be honest, I really enjoyed it. I thought it'd be never something I wanted to do, really had thoughts of. But then, through that time with the kids, I enjoyed it, and I got the opportunity to do the first team at Hemel. And obviously then you can up your game a little bit. You can start doing better sessions and and I really enjoyed it. Yeah, I did enjoy it, to be honest. But I kind of chose to go down a different path. Didn't really want to stick into the football. Now I'm doing what I'm doing now, so left the football behind, really.
Okay, we got a question here from Mad C 2004. What is your favourite moment as a Luton Town player?
Obviously making my debuts. Obviously becoming a professional footballer and getting the opportunity to play in the first team is obviously the biggest thing you can do. But obviously the goal against Watford is probably, well, yeah, what is it, 20 odd years now? Is it 19 years or something? It's still getting talked about now like it was yesterday. So that goal probably is my biggest highlight, I'd say.
I was right behind it that night. It was insane watching that. It was mad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, question from Phil Macbeth Seath. Springy, did you ever receive any abuse for playing for the enemy? And if so, who were worse, Luton or Watford?
No, I did. I never really did. You obviously get the odd one or two, but the majority, I think, of Luton fans were good. I think especially when I come back, they obviously, yeah, you as I say, you get a few. But then when I went to Watford, I'd been there a few hours. I got down to when I had my medical, I got down to Vicarage Road at about 9 o'clock at night on a Friday. And I happened to be involved on the Saturday and scored on the Saturday against Burnley. We beat Burnley 3-2, I think, or 3-1, and I scored on the Saturday. So, but I never, as I say, I never really got much abuse. So it was kind of all right. I kind of dodged a few bullets there.
I've got a question as well. So, what were the circumstances for coming back to Luton? Like, I can't actually place it in terms of which manager brought you back. Was it Mike Newell? Or was
Newell,
it? Yeah, it was Mike Newell that brought you
Yeah.
back, but then he was gone.
Yeah.
Really shortly
Yeah,
afterwards.
and then he left. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think it was a mutual leaving, wasn't it? The circumstances were pretty nuts.
Yeah, I don't know what went on there. So Newley brought me back. And then obviously we know where it went from there.
And when you returned, we got a question.
It's interesting
here.
you talked about.
Go for it, Mark. I was just going to read out another question.
Sorry,
you go for it, Mark.
No, I was just going to say it's interesting that you were talking about Spring when you first made your debut about bare bones, and it was a sort of reflection when you came back as well. We'd lost a huge amount of our squad that year, and you coming back. I remember as a fan, I was over the moon. I don't know anyone who wasn't absolutely elated that you were coming back, and we saw it as a real turning point as well. Obviously, lots of other stuff happened after that out of everyone's control, but I think it's interesting that those two situations being similar as well. Go on, Ollie. You asked the question.
So yeah, I've got a question here from Giraffe2403. By the way, anyone waiting in the waiting room, we're very sorry. We'll get to you for your Derby Day memories as soon as we've asked every single question to Springy, because it's an honour having him here. So Springy, did you enjoy playing with the great Keith Keane on your return to the town?
Because obviously I wasn't gone that long, so a lot of these boys were still at the club, and I played with them before and stuff like that. So everyone when I come back at the club, I thought we had a good enough team squad to stay. Well, especially that time in January when I come up to stay up. I don't think we should have got relegated, but the circumstances at the club, I think, just took hold of things, and we was always on a kind of a downward spiral. Everyone I played with at Luton, I enjoyed my time playing at Luton, first time and second time.
Who was the best player you played with? At Luton. I don't want to hear about Watford.
At Luton. No. I was with Thorpe probably.
Oh, yeah. What a striker he
Thorpe
was!
Brilliant. Yeah,
he doesn't. He doesn't deserve the abuse that he gets off the fans.
No. Thorpe, especially when you're a kid, coming through and training and stuff like that. That's when you really get to see kind of people. I know you guys got to see a lot of Thorpe on Saturdays and that, and the goals he scored and all that. But yeah, him, Kerry Hughes was brilliant. I'm trying to think back to when I was young, playing with these proper players, and not actually playing with the youth team, because I think at one stage after the first team with the youth team that I played with. So some good players come through Luton, and we're at Luton. Obviously, Kelv in goal, Paul McLaren in midfield. Enjoyed playing with Paul. So there's a lot of players. Gary Waddock, experience Gary Waddock gave me when I played next to him. When I was again only 17. So no, there's a few players that I enjoy playing with at Luton.
I've got a question here from Phill. What are you up to now, Springy, career-wise? And do you get to go/enjoy going to the football now?
At the moment, so what I do, I'm personal training now in a gym in Sundon Park called the Movement Place with my brother-in-law Liam. So that's he's the physio there, head physio there, and he runs the gym. He's the owner of the gym, and we have our own sideline of an ice bath and sauna, well-being kind of suite that we run on the side. So if anyone wants to ever come down, have a little ice bath and jump in the sauna, everyone's more than welcome. So that's what we're doing at the moment. So we're personal training.
That's amazing. So yeah, plug that a bit more. So that's in Sundon Park.
Yeah. So we're at the top of Camford Way. So you know where Booker's is in Sundon Park. So we're at the top of Camford Way by the FedEx building. We've got a little couple of units up there, and we personal train out of there. And as I say, we have a beauty suite with a young lady that does everything that a woman could want. Do you know? She does massages, facials, everything. And then, as I say, we've got another building that is a health suite. So that's more. So it's got 2 ice baths in it, a sauna. So just go there and have a little relax. You can do it as hot and cold therapy, or you can just go in the sauna, go in the ice bath, and just spend some time chilling and making yourself feel good.
That's amazing. And Springy, before you go, how do you think the game is going to go this weekend?
It's funny. I've got a lot of Luton supporter clients, so a few of them are a little bit nervous. I can't lie, they're a little bit nervous after coming off of defeats and obviously the weekend of not playing after international. So I don't know how it's going to go. You never know. Kind of form goes out the window. But as I say, it could be a kickstart Luton need. If they start the game well and the game and result goes, let's not even worried about how you play, are you? If they get a result on Saturday, it could kickstart their season. But on the flip side, I think Watford are doing all right at the moment. So I think it'll be a very tough game. But I'm thinking probably a draw.
Mark, would you take a draw right now if it was offered?
No, I can't say yes. I mean, yeah, obviously the rational side of me does, but you know what it's like. You're a Luton fan. You can't see anything other than a win against them lot. We don't get to play very often, but a draw would be more like the old days in the 90s when we did that most of the time, apart from that one game that we don't talk about. Yeah, rationally, yeah, I probably would on form, but my heart says no, I need to just all out win. When was the last time you were at Kenilworth Road, Spring? It just was going to ask you that. When was the last time you watched the game?
I haven't been back. Yeah, I haven't been back. I haven't been back since I last played there.
Oh my God, we got to get you to a game.
You've got to get you down.
Yeah, I've been there since. I've been. Yeah, I don't know what Luton are like because they don't really seem to do much for ex-players or anything like that. I don't. Well, I might be wrong. Not that I've heard of.
No, they don't.
Sadly,
they don't.
Don't want to be bad. Don't want to say anything, but I've been invited down to Watford 5 or 6 times. So, So I don't, as I say, I've never been invited as such, or I've never really gone back. But yeah. So no, never. As I say, I don't know if they ever do much for old players, but no. The answer is no, not.
Unfortunately, they don't, Springy. But I'll tell you what. I'll do what I did for Brian Steen. I'll take you to a game. You have to slum it with us outside, get a couple of drinks down you, but you'll get to watch a game.
Okay, great. All right.
Yeah, I'll be in touch. I'll sort you out with that. Yeah. Believe me, outside the Kenny end, outside. Oh, I'm not made of money, Springy. Yeah, I'll sort you out.
They got rid of the boxes, mate. We got no boxes left.
Yeah, I was going to say, will I be behind a post though? Will I be behind a post?
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Will it be restricted view? Yeah.
Is there anything else?
Look, if you can see both goals, you can't complain. It's
You
about
can't though. You can't. You can only see. You can't see that from like 80% of the ground. You can only see like 1.5 goals.
It's the same. It's the same in the it's exactly the same in the director's box as well.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
got they have a massive, well, they have 3 posts in their way actually. Okay, I've got one more question for you, and then we'll let you go so you can get on and eat your cake. From Giraffe to Springy, do you remember an old gentleman called Fred who used to work in the player car park welcoming the players? That's his granddad, and he loved it when you were at the club. Do you remember Fred?
Do I remember Fred? I'm just trying to think now. I'm trying to think. I think the answer is no. I don't.
No, it's not the end of the world.
I was going to say, did it work? Did he work for the club, or
What do you?
I don't know if he- did
Was
he work
he
for the
a
club?
random guy in the car park?
Yeah, was he a
Yeah,
supporter?
he said he worked in the players' car park.
Yeah, he
Or
worked.
did he work in the car park? If he worked in the car park, and he was the one with the clipboard, yes, I do remember.
Ah, well, that is
'Cause
lovely.
I think he always used to. My dad used to try and blag his way in, and I think he always used to let my dad in.
Oh, that's wonderful. Springy, thank you so much for joining us tonight,
No, that's-
mate. And you're
Yeah,
welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome down at Kenilworth
And-
Road anytime. I'll sort you out with a ticket.
And good luck Saturday.
Thank you. Thank you,
Cheers,
Springy.
mate. Thank you so much.
All right, guys. All right, take care. Have a good night.
Take care, mate. See you
All right.
later.
Bye-bye.
So that was the legendary Matthew Spring. We can forget about the file because he played over 350 times for Luton Town, and that's all that matters.